this is Mary. This is Harboring Life. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me, as I do in the beginning of every episode of my podcast. I mention social media and audio platforms. Social media, I will link that in this episode, as I say. And also, as I also say about Substack, I have writings on Substack as a supplement, and I, do that for my podcast. So you want to, check out my writings. That link will be in this episode. And feel free to follow or support. And also to add on to that, with my podcast, feel free to follow, share, and give me a rating. It's greatly appreciated. I enjoy and I appreciate all you listeners out there. It means a lot. And I'd like to hear from you. Thank you so much. Now, audio platforms. I'm on iHeartRadio. I'm on Audible, Amazon Music. I'm on Overcast, Pocket Cast. I'm on Pandora, Spotify for podcasters. And I'm looking to go to wherever you enjoy your content. I'm on that. Now, this episode is about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm going to talk about the beginning of it and, get my thoughts on it and all of that good stuff. So, let's get into it. Okay, so my thoughts on the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. I think it shows even though it's, corporate, it still shows the tradition and the values of something, and particularly the American values. And even though there are some international themes in there as far as music and things of that nature with different musical artists, it still represents the American spirit of being a part of showing the importance of being a part of something and bigger than ourselves. And that goes without saying with a lot of other cultures. But the ideas of patriotism and the ideas of the American values of Thanksgiving and togetherness of families, and that was really, really present. And the when I was a kid, and I would watch the Macy's Thanksgiving parades. And to add on to this, with the American spirit of if you dedicate yourself to something and with a lot of hard work, it can take you far. So, for instance, highlighting high school bands and that are phenomenal and that stand out in their community, and to have them represented in the parade and things of that nature. And there's really a lot to be said about that. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. All right, so let's talk about the early years of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Back in 1924, Macy's department store was looking for a unique way to market the holiday shopping season. Several ideas were batted around, but they eventually came up with the idea to have a parade. They initially ran a series of small notices in various New York newspapers and then placed a full-page ad in the New York Herald Tribune on November 27th, 1924. Thanksgiving Day. Today is the big day. Big Christmas Parade welcomes Santa Claus to New York. as it says in this advertisement. It went on to promote elephants, bears, camels, monkeys, clowns, brass bands, and everything that makes a real circus parade so dear to everybody. The ad worked, and more than 250,000 people turned out to watch the parade, and then scores from them followed the parade to the Macy's flagship store on 31st Street. Santa Claus was the star of the show, as he unveiled that season's holiday windows displays and declared the Christmas season officially open. Their first parade was much to a smash hit. With the people in New York City, Macy's decided to host one every year. In 1927, the Macy's Christmas Parade was renamed to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the zoo animals were replaced by huge helium-filled balloons. The balloons were to be released into the air at the end of the parade, where planners thought that they would float gracefully and harmlessly into the sky and would be rounded up later. Unfortunately, that's not exactly what happened. As the balloons rose higher into the sky, the helium inside them expanded more and more until they exploded over Manhattan. The next year, Macy's redesigned the balloons and fitted them with safety valves to avert the issue from the year before. They also fitted each balloon with return address labels. A $100 reward was offered to folks who found and returned the balloons. Over the years, one balloon disappeared over the Atlantic Ocean, and countless were torn to shreds by people fighting over who would get to claim and return balloons for the reward money. Very interesting. In the interest of public safety, Macy's stopped releasing the balloons in 1933. The parade was already popular before television took off, but it could increase its popularity if it were to be broadcast over the airwaves. In 1939, an experimental local TV broadcast of the parade was filmed with cameras positioned above Central Park's Museum of Natural History. Unfortunately, World War II broke out and ended the broadcast. As the war effort ended, not only the broadcasting equipment, but also the rubber needed to make the signature balloon, was an issue. Television coverage of Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade resumed in the United States in 1946. While much of the early footage is lost to history, footage from the 1946 parade still exists due to the 1947 movie Miracle on 34th Street. Some of the parade footage was used in the film, preserving it for history. The first national broadcast of the parade was in 1948. It was only an hour-long segment, and it was broadcast on a delay. In 1961, the broadcast was expanded to 2 hours, and in 1969, the parade began being aired in its entirety. But it's not live for everyone. A tape delay is still used to ensure that it's seen all over America at the same time, 9 a.m. CBS aired the parade until 1955 when NBC took over the rights. That isn't to say that other networks can't air it, though. Since the parade is held on public streets, that makes it news, and other broadcasters can legally show it. CBS telecast it to its affiliates without a tape delay, so viewers can see the parade hours before the delay. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has aired annually since it began. Since World War II, Macy's has only considered calling off the parade once. In 1963, Thanksgiving fell only a few days after the assassination of President Kennedy. Macy's didn't think it was appropriate to have the parade during a time of national mourning, but letters and calls poured in by the thousands from all over the country urging them to go on. Even newly sworn-in President Lyndon Johnson encouraged them to carry on. During that year's parade flags were flown at half-staff, and black strings accompanied many of the floats. All right, here we go. So to add on to this and to wrap everything up, while the route has been scaled back to a length of 2.5 miles, the size of the parade itself has blossomed with dozens of balloons, marching bands, celebrities, and cheerleaders. Although it is now called the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, Santa Claus remains the showstopper, and his arrival on Herald Square still reigns in as the Christmas season in New York. Okay. That reaches the end of the Harvey and Light. As I like to say, tune in and turn up, and definitely take care. And also, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Bye-bye now.